Hi, this is Vesny from Nordic Milsim. Today we're going to talk about the NATO kit. So one of the things that you're going to find out when attending our events or going to attend our events is that there are different types of factions that you can sign up for. The NATO faction is probably the most limited one as far as camouflage pattern and gear that we allow to be used. The Rus4 faction is a lot less limited, and then we have PMC Karpova that is probably the easiest entry-level faction to get into the event. But NATO requires a little bit more of you as a player as far as gear and equipment being used. And the reasoning behind it is that we want NATO to look like a professional fighting force and not a militia. The Russian faction is basically a scramble of militia and camouflage patterns as it is in the real world, but that is not what NATO is. So there are, as of now, there are 3 types of patterns that you can use in the default setting. You don't have to notify us or tell us or accomplish anything in order to use those types of patterns, and those are multicam, as you can see me wearing right now, and multicam. When we say multicam, we mean regular type multicam. So we don't mean arid, we don't mean tropic, it's regular multicam, as you can see me wearing now. The other 2 patterns that are allowed as of now, the filming of this video, is M90, which is the standard Swedish camouflage pattern, and OD/Ranger Green. And those are the only patterns that you are able to use without checking off some kind of boxes. Whilst there are a lot of different NATO camouflage patterns, Flecktarn for instance, or different types of American patterns like AOR1 or stuff like that, it's not something that we allow, because again, we don't want NATO to look like a mix and match of airsoft players being a militia. There is, however, ways to use a different camouflage pattern in NATO. So there are some things that you have to check before doing so. First off, it has to be an actual NATO pattern, like a NATO ally. So for instance, Flecktarn, which is German, or AOR1, which is American camouflage pattern. So it has to have a NATO allied being using that pattern. The other thing is that you have to be at least 4 persons or more using the same type of gear and pattern in conjunction with each other. Again, we don't want NATO to look like a scramble of different types of setups. You also have to notify us in advance and actually get permission to use that pattern. It also has to be a gear setup that's in the modern day era. So you can't use, I don't know, even though it's not a NATO ally, by like Rhodesian pattern or something like that. It has to be a modern pattern being used. But the good news is multicam is probably the easiest thing to get your hands on. And I am a Rus4 enthusiast myself. So I have basically just built this kit in order to do cadre for the NATO faction for Nordic Milsim. And it didn't cost me a ton. The uniform is a knockoff Cry field pants for pants. And this is actually a real issued one that I picked up for surplus. But it's also a field shirt that you can find on AliExpress for dirt cheap. I bought the entire uniform with another field shirt, which is basically the exact same cut and everything, for $40, I think, for the entire uniform. And then I have my plate carrier, which is a knockoff Cry Precision plate carrier too. It's the AVS plate carrier. I think I picked it up for $100 or something like that. All the pouches are knockoff stuff from AliExpress. So you can add another 100. The helmet is the same type of helmet I use for my SSO kit. Basically an airsoft replica fast helmet, the ballistic type. I found that on AliExpress for like $30 or something. So the setup, the only expensive things on my setup is probably my shoes and my hearing protection. But everything else is pretty cheap. The gun I'm running is ICS. I think I picked it up for $150 or something like that. So everything is really cheap. It's still very easy to use. Got everything you need. It still looks good. I was going for semi-type Green Beret Army Special Forces setup. Now in hindsight, I would probably go more for a grunt kit. But this was easy, flexible for me to use in conjunction with my Rust4 kit, because a lot of the same equipment is being used on both Special Forces sides, on NATO and Rust4. This is basically the kit. Easy to get your holds on. I don't really enjoy multicam myself. I think it's an ugly fucking pattern, but it looks good when everybody's using the same pattern. So again, as we talked about in previous videos, we sell tickets to an experience, not a game. And if I can create a good experience, like looking like everybody else on NATO wearing multicam, I'm just going to enhance the immersion of the game for everybody in there. So I opted to do that. And multicam, as I again said, really easy to find everything. I doubt there's any pouch out there being sold that doesn't come in multicam if you need it. Yeah, NATO kit. See you in the next one.